Well, if you look at the numbers overall, the cases still continue to increase, but the pace at which we're seeing new cases has come down a bit. As you know, Anderson, the early numbers in these situations are always hard to glean too much into, but obviously you'd want to see the pace at which these new cases are coming about to continue to decrease. So you want to see that trend continue. But what I thought was really interesting, there was this large study, some 44,000 patients they looked at. There's probably a lot more patients out there, but they were able to study 44,000. 80% of them, Anderson, had either no symptoms or minimal symptoms, fully expected to recover. So that's good, and that sort of fits with what we're seeing. A lot of people who are diagnosed with the infection, but really having no symptoms. There's about 15% where people had more serious disease, including pneumonia. About 5% of patients had critical disease. 2% of patients, they say, have died from this. But keep in mind, to get that 2% number, that's the number of deaths over the number of people infected. I don't think we really know, Anderson, how many people are infected out there. There's probably a lot of people who have, again, no symptoms or minimal symptoms, never get tested, so you wouldn't know it. I think that brings that fatality ratio a lot lower.
And how does it compare to other, viruses in terms of fatality? And is there any way to compare it?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at, everything from H1N1, Zika, SARS and MERS are the ones that most often people draw the comparison because they're also part of the same family of viruses, the coronavirus family. And again, you and I spend time in these situations where we see the leap of these pathogens from animals to humans. That's how most of these pathogens get into the human population. It's happened 7 times in the past with coronavirus. 2 of them have been problematic, SARS and MERS. Compared to those, this appears to be a lot less lethal.
Just talk a little bit, I think you were about to before I rudely interrupted you, about the virus itself. How is it different than the flu, than other viruses, or than SARS, than other viruses we've seen?
So this is a highly transmissible virus. It's not as transmissible as measles, for example, but it appears to be more transmissible than SARS and possibly than flu. Its mortality rate, we don't know for sure yet because we don't really understand the full scope of people who've been infected. That's something that we're trying to pursue now by testing for antibodies. A lot of people are asymptomatic or have very mild disease. So until we have that denominator, all we see is the tip of the iceberg. Those people who present with severe disease where we have some sort of confirmatory test.
So it's not known why some people are asymptomatic, don't really show much. Maybe they have a little cough or something, but they don't end up dying. They don't end up being hospitalized.
No, it's still early days there. What we typically do is we try to assess those people who have underlying medical conditions. Do they have chronic obstructive lung disease, cancer, allergies, any sorts of things that might predispose to them becoming very ill? But we have a lot of people, for example, who are healthcare workers who are presumably healthy and fit. And we've had, as you've seen, some tragic deaths there.
Business is slow, at least 40%.
Look at the window. Most of the ducks still hanging over there. That means the business is not that well.
There have been plenty of empty tables inside Chiviengo's noodle shop, New York Bokai on Baxter Street, and he's not alone.
I walk around the area, I see the market empty. I see most of the restaurants empty.
In fact, all of Chinatown has seen an estimated 40% slide in business. Nobody's buying the famed toys and trinkets, in addition to the tasty treats, because of fear of the coronavirus, even though there have been no confirmed cases in the city.
I don't know why they're scared. Nothing happened.
This is getting out of hand. So far in New York City, no one has tested positive.
Today, the Chinatown Partnership teamed up with 2 local councilwomen to encourage people to bring business back to Chinatown.
We got a lot to offer in this community. And yes, we have to turn a crisis into opportunity.
Politicians have been steadily making this plea since the coronavirus outbreak began. And back inside Ngo's restaurant, we saw some signs of normalcy during today's lunch rush.
The awareness campaign is helping a lot. So bring the fact out to the people.